Now we're going to begin the deep tissue work for the back. So I'm going to gently expose my client up to the greater trochanter, up to the hip bones. So I'm going to tuck it in and give myself access to the upper part of the buttocks and the back. From here I'll begin to apply oil, nice and easy, having a nice secure contact with my client. And I like to apply oil hand over hand. And I think the most important thing as you begin is to be very conscious of your touch. Have as much contact with the body as possible. From here, once we have a nice even coat of oil on the body, we're going to begin with some of the early movements. The first movement I'm going to begin with is palms radiating over the buttocks. Allowing my body weight to sink, using the palms of my hands starting right on the top of the buttocks and sinking, dropping through the muscle and coming right down. Now this is very important because your buttocks are part of your erector muscles. They're part of all the muscles that help you stand erect. And lower back pain starts generally down here. From here, the next thing I'm going to move into is fingertips moving into the pelvic girdle. Point your hands straight down. Allow yourself to make contact. And you're going to be right at the beginning of what's called the pelvic girdle. Your fingertips will stop here. Ask your client to breathe. And as your client exhales, sink into the pelvic girdle. And as you get to the sides, let the pressure go. Breathe in again. So this is a gentle stroking and sinking in. And then release and come around. One more time. From here, I'll move into something called washing the kidneys. I'll allow my hands to slide up. I'll allow my fingers to anchor. And I'll begin to do this washing motion, lifting my hands and starting back again. Allow your hands to slide up. And now, the next thing I'm going to do is to begin some of the deep tissue work. So I'm going to begin by stroking up the erector muscles. I'm going to be using the pads of my thumbs, and I'm going to start here on the left-hand side of my client. So as you begin to do the thumb strokes up the erector muscles, I want you to focus that you're going to move in a parallel line up the spine. These are the two major energy lines up the back, and we're actually going to be doing deep tissue strokes through them. So it's going to go one behind the other, constantly moving up, overlapping, great, and I'll go back again. Now I'm going to be using the pads of my thumbs, and I want to overlap over the same area several times. And something that's really, really important throughout this body work, one of the most important things is that we're always moving the circulation back towards the heart. We're never going back in the opposite direction. This is going to aid in detoxification, and it's also going to move energy up the body. Great. Then I love to do nice reassuring strokes after I do anything intense. Just continuing to move that energy up the body. From here, I'm going to do some type of muscle stimulation, something called direct muscle stimulation. I'm going to use the tips of my thumbs, open up my hands, grab the body. I'm going to move into this little canal that actually is right along the side of the spine. I'm going to allow my thumbs to slide up until I get to the rib cage, position myself as best as I can directly above. And if you're shorter than me, just ask your client to move 2 inches to the left. And this will bring it a little bit closer to you and it'll be a little bit easier. Slide up to the rib cage, get in position, open up your hands, grab the body, and I'm going to be pulling my thumbs over the bulge of the erector muscle. It's going to look like this. Take a nice deep breath. And then as my client exhales, 1, 2, I'm gently exciting and stimulating release in the muscle and reassure. So we're now going to begin thumb strokes up the erector muscles on the right side of the body. Once again, open up your hands, place your thumbs on the body, and slowly one behind the other. We'll begin doing thumb strokes moving straight in a straight line, about 5 centimeters from the spine. That's about 1.5 inches, moving in a straight line all the way up, coming up to the top of the trapezius and stopping, reassuring, nice easy strokes, moving the energy up the back. And then we'll move into the next movement, which is exciting the erector muscles. Have both of your thumbs come into this position, point them down, so your thumbs are about a 45-degree angle. Open up your hands, grab the body, allow your thumbs to slide up until you get to the rib cage. Ask your client to breathe. As they exhale, pull over, exciting the muscle. This is very important for stimulating release. Getting the muscle to actually stop contracting and move back to its natural harmonic position. And from here, once again, we'll have reassuring. So the next movement we're going to do is something called fingers radiating up the back. We're going to use our fingertips, place them on the body, let your palms rest, ask your client to breathe. With the exhalation, I'm going to push forward 1/3, 2/3, and then all the way up and gently over the arms. So I'll do this one more time. Plant your hands, breathe in, and with the exhalation, 1, 2, and 3. Gently trailing over the arms. Now from here, I'll open up my hands, allow both of my thumbs to come in contact with the body, and I'm going to do something called shaking the spine. So I'm going to begin to activate the spine, moving all the way up through each vertebrae. Open up your hands, grab the body, your thumbs point in at a 45-degree angle, sitting in this little canal next to the spine. Ask your client to breathe, and with the exhalation, begin to shake left and right. The body should jiggle just a bit, all the way up to the top of the trapezius, and stop, and once again, gentle reassuring strokes up the back. So we're going to begin now with the neck and shoulders. Oil your hands, apply oil to the area, and begin squeezing in, working your way into the top of the trapezius here. So kind of squeeze in and squeeze out. Working into the muscle. And this sequence that I'm doing right now is highly effective for upper back tension and desk-related injuries. So I'm working now into the top of the trapezius, squeezing in. And from here, I'm going to begin more thumb strokes up the erector, starting from the midway point, working between the shoulder blade and the spine, coming one thumb behind the other, pushing in, trying to use my body weight, and a little trick, extend your arms so you can utilize your upper body weight without pushing in. Come to the very end, and then just gently allow your thumb to push right over the muscle to the floor. From the opposite side, working my way up. Coming to the very end, pull the skin back and push the muscle right over the top of the trapezius. Then start squeezing back into the muscle. and then grab the muscle with your fingertips. So you should almost have like a little C like this. Reach and grab, and I'm going to pinch from the outside, middle to close to the neck. Isolate the muscle, grab it, and then without, not too soft, not too hard. 1, 2, 3, stimulating the muscle, oil your hands, and hook your fingers and begin roping, pulling at the muscle, extending and elongating the trapezius. Now what's important about this muscle, this is the muscle that when you're very stressed out or your client is really stressed out, forces your shoulders to simply rise up like this. So what we're doing is adjusting it, extending it, relaxing it so the shoulders drop. And I'm pulling straight across like this. From the other side, one behind the other, never letting the muscle go. And there we go. Now the next movement that I'm going to do, I'm going to lift up the wrist, place it gently right on top of the spine, and I'm going to take my right hand, and for better leverage, I would say, take your knee and place it on the mat. Start with your hand just about where the spine is and allow it to slide gently underneath the shoulder blade. So come underneath, brace it with your upper hand, make sure you're already underneath. Take a nice deep breath. As my client exhales, I simply allow my body weight to sink and release. Breathe in. So don't push, don't force. Allow the space to come and then move into the space as the air leaves the body. Place the wrist back down. Reassure. Move to the opposite side, and let's do the opposite side. Lift the wrist. Place it gently on top of the spine. Open up the shoulder. Take your left hand now. Bring it to right about where the spine is. And allow the skin to come with you. A little bit of pressure so the skin comes with you. Hand goes underneath, nice and secure. And have your body weight as close to directly above as you possibly can. Ask your client to take a deep breath in. And with the exhalation, follow the breath. Sink slowly down. Good. And release. One more time. Come underneath the shoulder blade. Come into position. Directly above, arms locked, elbows locked. Nice deep breath. And once again, with the exhalation, allow your body weight to gradually sink in, flowing into the body, and release so they can inhale. Place the wrist back down and gently reassure over the top of the shoulder. Now we're going to do the hand strokes on the arms. So you want to oil your hands, and I actually want to apply oil on the inside of the arm, coming down towards the wrist. And if you can go ahead and do both arms at the same time. Now, I'm going to take my right hand, anchor the wrist, take my left hand, turn it out, and I'm going to use, the contact point's going to be the base of my palm. My palm's going to be just like this, and I'm simply going to allow my hand to make the muscle go flat. So it's kind of like stroking, kind of like pushing toothpaste up to the top. Nice and flat. Be careful not to ride too deep with your palm so you're on the ulna or the radius. And right in the middle of the forearm, stroking up to but not over the elbow. Then lift up from the other side and stroke from the opposite side of the elbow gently into the body. And what we're doing is moving circulation, flushing the muscle. Come to the opposite side, take your right hand, left hand rather, take the center of your palm of your right hand, and once again, nice, easy strokes from the wrist up to the elbow. 3 on the bottom, and 3 on the upper arm. Another little trick to make sure your hand is flat is to extend and lock your elbow. Good. From here, let your hand rest on top of the spine, the other hand rest on top of it. Allow your foot to be in front so your body weight can move with you. Nice deep breath. And as she exhales, I give a nice even stroke up the back, lifting up. One more time, breathe in. And my weight's distributed on both sides. It's not centered on the spine. Stroking up the back and lifting off.